And welcome back to All This Math. This is your host, Professor Parker. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about long division. All right. Now, please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and tap that button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, turn on the notifications so that you'll get alerted whenever I put out new content. Now, today we're going to do some long division. Now, the reason we're doing long division today is because a good brother that I know that works in the education space, he made a comment that, there's 6th and 7th graders that don't know how to do long division. Now, this brother's doing his part, trying to help, trying to help young people learn long division, right? But he's only one man in one space. Now, one of the reasons that I created All This Math and I created the All This Math YouTube channel is so that we would have more reach, right? Because the internet, most people have access to the internet. So if you have math problems, what you can do is you can just go onto the All This Math YouTube channel at any time of day, any time of night, wherever you are, and just pull up a video on any particular topic you might need help with, right? And if I don't have a video on that topic, you can reach out to me, contact me through the Instagram at All This Math, right? Or through email, allthismath@gmail.com, right? And just send me a picture of the particular problem. And as soon as I possibly can, I will create the content for you. All right. But that's what All This Math is here for. That's what it's about. So it's to answer the call when our young people or even adults need help with mathematics. All right. So, but here's another thing too. The issue is once you watch this video, you won't fully understand how to do long division. Now, what does that mean? That means that the way you really are going to learn long division is after you watch this video, you got to do 100 problems. Ain't no way around it. I know 100 sounds like a big number. That might sound scary, but you got to do 100 problems, right? Being successful at mathematics is very similar to being successful at sports. Repetition is key. You have to drill yourself and you have to do the problems over and over again. You have to practice those skills on a regular, consistent basis. Repetition is key. I cannot stress that enough. I can show you how to do long division. I can show you that all day. But you actually are going to learn long division when you do a bunch of problems on your own. That's when you're going to learn. That's when you're going to know it. You're going to learn. You're going to understand. You're going to make the mistakes and you're going to go back and check your mistakes. You're going to understand the pattern. Math is all about patterns. All the processes in math, no matter what level of math you're at, is all about patterns. You got to learn those patterns. And the only way to learn them patterns is to do the problems, put in the work. So the teacher should show you how to do it, but then it's going to be on you to do 100 problems. So parents, give your children 100 problems. Teachers, give your students 100 problems, right? Now, if you're one of the teachers that think the students shouldn't have homework, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how it's going to work out. But, everybody got their own educational theories. Maybe that should be the subject of another video. But anyway, let's jump into this. So we have 9,845 divided by 11, right? The first number is called the dividend. I'm going to put you on with some mathematical vocabulary. The first number is called the dividend in a division problem. The second number is the divisor in a division problem. Now the answer is called the quotient. So we got dividend, divisor, and this is going to be equal to the quotient. All right. Now, this is how we set this up with long division. This is my divisor. I write it like this. Then I do that long division sign or that long division symbol, which is actually called a vinculum. It's called a vinculum. I thought that was kind of cool. I never knew that when I was younger and I first learned how to do long division. I learned that more recently. So this is the vinculum. Inside the vinculum is where you put the dividend. So now the problem is set up. Now it's time to get to work. First thing we do is we ask ourselves, how many 11s can fit into 9? Well, 9 is smaller than 11. So no 11s can fit into 9. 0 11s can fit into 9. You can't fit an 11 into a 9. Just like if you got a size 11 foot and you try to fit into a size 9 sneak, your toes gonna be all curled up. It's gonna be crazy, right? That's not gonna be a good look for you, right? It's probably not even possible. So 11 can't fit into 9. But then we look, okay, well, if it can't fit into 9, what about 98? What if I deal with this 98? We ask ourselves, how many 11s can fit into 98? 11 can fit into 98. Now the question is, how many times though? I know that 11 times 9 because I know my multiplication facts. And let me pause for a minute on that note too. Because a lot of people have issues with long division because they don't know their multiplication facts. Brothers and sisters, in order for you to do long division, you need to know your multiplication facts. If you know your multiplication facts, then you'll be able to know your division facts, which are integral to understanding doing this type of work. All right. Now, I have blank multiplication table templates on the allthismath.com website. You can go on there, click on printables, and you'll see 12 by 12 multiplication tables that are blank that you can print out and fill in for practice. There are also 15 by 15 multiplication table templates that you can print out and are blank. You can print those out for practice too. All right. So you need to know your multiplication facts. There's no way around it. You got to know your multiplication facts. All right. Now, I know that 11 times 9 is 99, but that's more than 98. Right. So that's no good. Right. But 1 less than 9 is 8. And I know, so that means that since 11 times 8 is 88, I know that 11 can fit into 98 8 times. 11 or 8 groups of 11 can fit into 98. Another way to think about it. So I'm going to take that 8 and I'm going to write it above this 8 right here. Boom. Now, that's the division part. Now, when we're doing long division, we're doing 3 steps basically. We're doing division first, then we're doing multiplication, then we're doing subtraction. It goes DMS, division, or divide, multiply, subtract. Divide, multiply, subtract. Divide, multiply, subtract. All right. So I just did the divide part. Now I'm going to multiply 11 times 8. 11 times 8. It's going to give me 88. Boom. And then I'm going to subtract. I'm going to subtract 98 minus 88. 98 minus 88 is 10. 98 minus 88 is 10. Now, we start the process over again. Now it's time to divide again. But we can't use this 10. We got to go back to the dividend and pull down the next digit, which is 4. So now that creates a 104. So now, just like we figured out how many 11s can fit into 98, now we want to know how many 11s can fit into 104. Now I know that 11 times 10 is 110. And that's more than 104. So that's too much. So if I back off that 10, just 1, say to 9, 11 times 9 is 99. That's cool because 99 is less than 104. So that means I'm going to take that 9 and I'm going to write it up here above the 4. Since the 4 is what I brought down to create the 104, right? So we got to keep everything organized in our work too. We got to be neat and organized in our work as well. And every number has its particular place where it belongs to. Now we do the second step, the multiplication step. 11 times 9 is 99. So I'm going to take the 99, write it under the 104. Like that. And then I'm going to subtract again. 104 minus 99 is 5. Boom. I got that. So now I did my division, multiplication, and subtraction again. So now I'm going to do that same step. I'm going to bring down this last digit from the dividend, which is 5. So now I have a 55. Now I want to know how many 11s can fit into 55. How many 11s can fit into 55? Now, because I know my multiplication facts and I understand the multiplication table, I know that 55 is a multiple of 11, meaning 11 times a whole number will equal 55. I know that 11 times 5 is 55. So that means that 55 divided by 11 equals 5. So I'm going to take that 5 and I'm going to put that 5 right here. And then I'm going to multiply 5 times 11. I'm going to get 55 again, which we already talked about. I'm going to put the 55 right here. And then I'm going to subtract and I'm going to have 0. Now, when you get a 0 down here, after all these digits are used up in the dividend, that means that there's no remainder. There's no remainder. That means that 11 multiplies evenly into 9,845. Or 9,845 is divisible by 11. All right. So this is my final answer, 895. Now, real quick, because I'm a strong advocate of students checking their work. Always check your work so that way you don't got to wait for nobody else to give you validation as to whether you're right or wrong. It's a form of empowerment. You are empowered because you check your own work, so you already know if it's right. The way we check division is by doing multiplication. Because if this answer is correct, then that means that this answer, this quotient, I should be able to multiply it by this divisor, and it should equal this dividend. So real quick, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because this is just the check part. I'm going to just do 895 times 11, right? I'm going to run through this real quick, so keep up with me. First, you start at the end. This is only one method of multiplication. Just like this is only one method of division. there are other methods of division as well that I can show you too. I got a couple other videos on the channel as well that go into some other methods of division. This is just one of them. Long division is just one method. Just like this is one method of multiplication. But I'm going to just run through this real quick. So I do 1 times 5, that gives me 5. Right, the 5 right here. Then I do 1 times 9. Put that product right there. Then I do 1 times 8. Put that product right there. Now I come down to this next row. Now, I remember back, 3rd grade, Roland Park Elementary School, Miss Johnson, may God rest her soul, she taught us this. She said to put the little smiley face right here, you know, because that's a blank space. You know what I mean? Like, you don't put a number right there. You don't do that, right? You got to indent one space in the second line, right? So then you go to this next one, right? From this other number, you do same thing. 1 times 5, that's 5. 1 times 9, that's 9. 1 times 8, that's 8. Boom. Draw your line. And now you have to add, right? You kind of can think of the smiley face as a 0. It's a blank space, right? 5 plus 0 is 5. 9 plus 5 is 14. So we got to carry the 1. We always put the number from the ones place down. Put the 4, carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. Put the 8 down, carry the 1 again. 8 plus 1 is 9. And that says 9,845. And that was my dividend. So this is proof that this is the correct answer. So I recommend to you, wherever you at watching this video, always check your work. Always check your work. That way you don't got to sit there nervous, hoping that you got the right answer. Go ahead and check your work, right? And if the numbers don't match up, then you know you made a mistake. So that means you got to go back in here and check your answers, check all your steps that you did. Now, it could be a coincidence. Your answer might be right. The work you did to check it might be wrong. So you might have made a mistake in here too. You know, but that's just part of the math process, right? It's part of the math process. You know, we make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. All right? So don't even worry about that. If you do make a mistake, it's cool. All right, so this, like I said, is just a little bit about long division. And what I told you is, if you're just being introduced to long division from this video, you don't know how to do long division yet. You will learn how to do long division from doing 100 problems. Now, you don't have to, nobody expects you to do 100 problems in one night or in one day. No, spread it out, right? Spread it out. You know, do maybe 5 problems a day for the next 20 days, 10 problems a day for the next 10 days, you know, 20 problems a day for the next 5 days. But you got to put that work in. You got to practice. All right. So I hope you learned something new. If you did learn something, hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. Also, turn on the notifications. And as always, remember, as we always say, there's all this math all around you. Peace.